Toronto has kind of devolved into a kind of New York as operated by gangbangers, thugs, and other ne'er-do-wells. The city is dirtier, graffiti is everywhere, the streets are paralyzed by gridlock, and riding the subway can be fraught with danger. And get this, literally across the street from Yonge Dundas Square, Toronto's version of Times Square, the city operates a so-called safe injection site where everything from needles to crack pipes are distributed to addicts and even, as the case may be, minors. And with more on this sad situation is Harrison Faulkner with True North. Hey, how are you doing there, Harrison?
Good. Well, I recovered from my trip downtown. That was yesterday. I made it out of there safely. But it was interesting, David. They didn't want any journalists there to uncover what is actually taking place. They're very proud of their decisions to give away free crack pipes, but don't seem nearly as proud to show the rest of us.
Well, you know what? I'm not surprised by that one bit. Back in 2020, when Nathan Phillips Square was occupied basically by hobos and grifters, Mayor Tory allowed that to go on for 3 weeks. 11 sections of the Trespass Act being broken. And yet when we went down and other journalists went down to cover it, we were being trespassed by city security. They even called the police on us and said, vamoose or what? I mean, the pandering to the lunatic fringe in this city is out of control. But, you know, before we get into the nitty gritty of your report, Harrison, I just want to right now throw to a clip of what you witnessed firsthand, right a stone's throw away from Yonge and Dundas here. Check it out, folks.
All right, so we're here at Yonge and Dundas, the heartbeat of Toronto, as some people call it. As some people say, it's where the city comes to life. But actually, if you go one block across, well, it looks a lot like the opposite of life. It looks a lot more like death. Behind me in that building, allegedly, I'll be allowed to receive my free crack pipe, my free crystal meth pipe, drug kits, and whatever. That's what they're giving away to the city for free. So we're gonna head on inside and see what it's like. I'll try and take you with me. I'll be as discreet as possible.
I'm here to collect my free drug pipe, my crack pipe. Can I get that here?
You can get that in the other side.
The works?
This is a clinic.
Okay, sorry. Where's the works?
Over there.
This door right here?
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I just got to the doctor's office, so I'll tell you that came up.
What's the purpose of this here today? Well, I'm here to collect my free crack pipe, crystal meth pipe.
Okay, well, you're recording.
Yep.
Sure, it seems like that's not the case, so I do have to advise you that's against the policy while you're going.
Oh, okay, I won't record.
Okay, dude, you gotta leave.
Why? I can't record.
You gotta leave. Like I said, you gotta leave.
Wow, that is shocking footage. You'd think it was being run by drug dealers, but they're City of Toronto employers. Here's the thing, Harrison. How did we get here in the first place?
Well, all of this is being marketed under the City of Toronto's safe supply and harm reduction strategy. I guess this is their strategy, David, to try and solve the addiction crisis by giving addicts everything they could possibly want to perpetuate their addiction. I mean, there's no real sense at all that I got that this has anything to do with treating addiction. It's the opposite, of course. It is perpetuating addiction. I have no idea how we got here, but this seems to be the same exact thing that's taking place in Vancouver and in other smaller cities in Ontario. It's just mayhem out there. It's just wild. And this is now their strategy to actually solve the problem. Or maybe they don't have any interest in solving the problem. That's how it looks like. That's what it looks like to me, at least.
Yeah, Harrison, they call it harm reduction, but as you noted in your report, it's more like perpetuating addiction and, for that matter, misery. These are people in horrible circumstances, and the idea that we would aid and abet this kind of addiction. And you know what I found amazing? We've heard reports of minors walking in to get this paraphernalia. You know, if you ran a convenience store, Harrison, and you sold cigarettes to somebody under 18, you're going to get in big trouble if it's found out. And I'm just wondering, how far do we take this perverted philosophy? There are people addicted to alcohol. They're called alcoholics. What if somebody had lost their license? They can't drive anymore, can't get to the LCBO. In the city of Toronto's eyes, maybe we should drive out there with bottles of bourbon to aid and abet that addiction. I know it sounds preposterous, but look what's happening right in the city center.
Well, exactly. If you take this concept, this harm reduction concept, for any other addiction that we obviously are trying to solve in our society, well, then we're already in lunacy territory here, David. But we're not going to give away drinks for free to alcoholics. We're not going to allow children to walk into the LCBO and walk out with free booze. But at this site, at this Yonge and Dundas site, on one side, they're giving out the drug starter kit, everything you could possibly want to get started on hard drugs. And then on the other side, just at the door beside it, well, that's where you can get your hydromorphone, which is a more potent heroin alternative. Now, we've seen the reports. We've all seen all the news and the data. This hydromorphone that the government is providing to addicts, which is paid for by us, David, it's being flipped on the street for fentanyl because addicts aren't getting the kind of rush they want from hydromorphone, but it's even stronger than heroin. So, I mean, I don't even know where this goes if we're going to keep going in this territory. Now, Alberta is trying to actually give treatment, but there's no indication that that's what we're trying to do here in Ontario. It's just crazy.
That was an excerpt from the Ezra Levant Show. I'm Ezra Levant. Every weekday, I do a monologue about the topic of the day. Then I interview a fascinating guest either in studio or via Skype. And then I read your mail, whether it's fan mail or hate mail, which is sometimes even more interesting. This is on our premium service, though, called Rebel News Plus. Go to rebelnewsplus.com. It's $8 a month or less if you buy a whole year in advance. You get my show every weeknight, plus Sheila Gunn Reid's show every week. It's called The Gun Show. It's pretty amazing. You know, we rely on you because we do not take a dime from the government. In Canada, that makes us almost unique. So please help us out and help yourself to some great journalism at rebelnewsplus.com.